Welcome to the stream. I forgot to put everybody's web captioner up.
It's fine. It's fine. No big deal.
Oh, while I do
Love y'all.
this, while I do my one job, who wants to give the in-character recap? First of all, welcome to the stream. Don't know if I said that. Who's giving the recap?
I already said nose goes, so.
I already did it in poems. So
I
I
could
think
use some Ruby inspiration right now.
I knew that was going to happen. Okay, that's fine. It's fair. I mean, Graham did give a poem last time, so I think that's fair.
Yeah, utilize your 12 pages of notes. I don't have any of that.
Shush, don't give away my secrets. All right. So, it was 5 years since we lost Aurum, and Signy, upon us reconvening, took the time to learn sending from Madrian because she thought maybe it would be useful. And Madrian decided to show her all the techniques, which included squatting and holding some spell components. It was a little bit of a mess. I'm not entirely sure how accurate all of that really was, but I mean, I don't know the spell, so I'll just have to defer to Madrian for that one. We ended up being joined by Signy's son, Arrow. He was a tall one. He offered to join us in our fight, and I am sure that Signy was both overjoyed by seeing her son again and also terrified at the thought of him joining battle. But he seemed pretty capable, and I believe that Madrian might be trying to set one of his daughters up with Arrow. I'm not entirely sure about that. I had my nose in my book quite a bit. I've decided to write a book about Sarenrae and all that nonsense. It's not done yet, so I'm not going to give away too much detail. Let's see, what else? Madrian did have a vision of darkness. The Primordials had won. And he saw Bane fall, and I think Tiamat too. And he saw Sarenrae being struck from the sky. Ugh, I don't want to think about that. Let's see, what else? Oh, we met a primal spirit, a healer, who has come to us and said that they have decided they are going to create something called the Primal Ban, where the Primordials won't be able to interfere anymore. But the downside is that we won't be able to interact with the gods the way we normally do. And Aravad and I said our goodbyes, in a way, to ours. I think Aravad brought down his ancestor? I think that's what he said. Signy ended up taking the time to contact Coralon, and she challenged him, as Signy normally does. I think she got some answers, which is good. I think she needed that. It was a long time in coming. Oh, and I got a puppy! I got a puppy named Charlie! Sarenrae gave me a golden puppy, who's much bigger than I am, and right now I could probably ride it. But I digress. Sorry, I've never had a puppy, so I'm a little excited. We also found out that Madrian made a sending to that woman that he rescued in the battlefield, and she's now married and doing something. I don't know. He was a little vague on the details. Aravad ended up leading us to a town called White Tree, where Aravad was able to pick up a scepter. I guess he'd given the blacksmith, like, some materials, some almost 2 decades ago. I have no idea what it does, but I'm excited to learn.
Thank you, Ruby. That was adorable. Okay, friends. You have known that the battle against Temesis and Sahil was coming up. You've known for quite some time that this would be it. You have all made preparations. You have all done what you needed to do. Over the last 10 years, the Dawn War has ravaged the face of the Primaterial Plane. Entire, massive metropolises gone, lost to history. Temples destroyed. Mountains formed, valleys cut into the earth. Even Corellon pulled away an entire section of the world to protect his elves living there. Describe to me what preparations you have made for this battle. Arvad.
Do we know where the battle will be taking place?
North of the White Cliffs.
Okay. I would have done my best to go through that area and warn anyone that was living there that something dangerous was coming. I would have given them as much gold as I could so that they could flee.
Yes.
To try to clear out as many innocents.
North of the White Cliffs, unlike in current times, is a thriving winter city.
Well.
What is it called, Arvad?
The city?
Yeah.
It is called something.
What would you like to call it?
Give me a second, because I was actually prepared for this, but then I didn't have my note open. Where did that go? Shoot.
No pressure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, not at all.
Just holding up the stream, it's fine.
Yep, just me living my best life, trying to find where I wrote this down, and I can't find it.
Make up something new.
Brilliant. This will be called... Wow, this is really hard to do on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to pass it off?
Yes, please.
Madrian, what's it called?
Haversdale.
Haversdale?
There we go.
Haversdale.
Haversdale. There's a thriving, massive city, one of the last untouched places, which is why this is where it is theorized that and it prophesies essentially where this last battle will take place, as the Primordials are going to destroy this last, final standing city. Arvad, you are able to help evacuate. While you're there, you meet the ruler of the city is also an Aasimar. Her name is Gemma Wolf. And you actually find, Madrian, that she is a distant cousin of yours. You convince her through some clever roleplay and impressive skill checks to move the city of Taversdale just east towards the coast. They rename the town, a little town of the people who stay together, Wolf's Crest. It takes several years to evacuate the city. I'm assuming Signy, Madrian, and Ruby, you all help and aid. Arvad, is there what else would you like to do to prepare for this? Or is that all?
I think at this point that would be my biggest concern, is making sure we can save and protect as many people as we can.
You also are able to work with some of the deities to create illusions of people in this town, so that the primordials don't come and see that it's empty and decide to move their fight elsewhere. Who would like to go next? Oh, one more thing, Arvad. We have a pretty clear idea of what Arvad looked like when we started this campaign.
It's true.
What has changed?
It has been 20 plus years since our first fateful meeting. Arvad, I've managed to keep my hair at a similar length, though much of its brown golden luster has begun to fade out. There are parts where it's kind of grayish in the center, the last bit of color still growing away, and then towards the top, it's more brilliant white. Same thing with my beard, although it's more streakish, so it's patches are more white. There's definitely a fair amount of wear on his face. Spending a lot of time worrying and a lot of time laughing. Fair number of wrinkles. The scar on his back has also faded pretty significantly at this point. Not that he shows it very often, or really if he can't help it at all, but if in passing anyone has seen it, it's gotten much less.
Madrian, what about you? You've been obviously spending some time with your family.
Yeah, I've been, catching up, making sure they're safe when I can. Spending a lot of time with Akalia. Just enjoying the old age. I think that I've started training, like a protege. That's a kind of a long word, but I've been training some people to be like pacifists and help and like travel around helping people in my free time. Making sure they have like a loose ability to like cast send into each other, but kind of sending everyone out wherever they need to be. I'm not really a leader. I just kind of taught them and let them do their own thing.
What do you call them?
I don't know. What would be a good name? I thought for a long time I was gonna call them the Aravadians, and then I realized that was kind of silly, and I didn't think Aravad would really like that. So I called them the Dawn Watchers. And I kind of tell them, I don't think I've had any visions since that last one, but any of the visions I had that had not been crossed out on my arm from the tattoos, I tell them all the details, and I think some of them are far, far beyond when I expect I'll be long gone by then. So I give them all the details on that and what the visions entail, so that even if I'm not around, someone else knows about them.
Don't mind me, I'm just writing this down for my own lore. Good to know. The Dawn Watchers.
And I don't age as fast as Arvad, but I think that I kind of look the same, except the radiance and silverish light in my eyes is dimmed like a light bulb that's on its last flickers. Like, it's not really noticeable to other people that don't know me, but to those that are around me, it's starting to kind of lose that glow. That spark, that divine spark, I guess, is what some people would call it. But I still look pretty usual. Not enough to like worry other people. Yeah. And then I don't know what's been going on with my daughters.
Would you like to know?
Yes, please.
Sura has taken to heart the mentorship that she had with Neril in a way that has made her, as serious as she already was, she is that much more somber. She is a very responsible young woman. But after a certain point, you do notice she has started to spend more time with other people again, taking on a few mentees of her own. In fact, she starts a very loose kind of association of wizards, of people who want to learn the arcane arts, who can't learn under Coralon.
What do they call themselves?
They don't really call themselves anything. They are starting to talk about, after the war's over, starting an academy. We'll get to Asara. Seema, unfortunately, has a bit of a row with her family. She grows distant and one night disappears, leaving a note that she will be back when she is ready.
Did we get in a fight?
Not exactly. She kind of has just decided to make her own way.
Alright. It's alright. She's like 28.
Seema is the youngest. Yeah, she's like 28. Asara, the middle daughter, continues her relationship with Arrow. And you are approached by Arrow 2 weeks before this large fight.
Am I sitting around like Signy and Aravad, or is it just me?
Just you.
Alright, so I think I'm sitting. I was gonna say reading a book, but that's a total lie.
Yep.
Like, hello there, Arrow. What can I do for you today?
You're sharpening your blade. Which is a power move. Sorry, y'all. Arrow approaches. Hold on, I need different music for this.
No, I think the mystery music works well.
Yeah, because Madrian does not know what's going on. He's like, man, why would he be approaching me?
Madrian,
Yeah?
I have something important to ask you.
Alright, I mean, shoot. You can ask me anything, kiddo.
Well, you see, Asara and I have grown quite close over the last 5 years.
Alright, yeah?
And I would like your permission to marry her.
Marry her? Marry her? Well, of course. Come on, don't have the long face. Of course you can marry her. I'm not gonna, like, yell at you. And I'll give him a big hug. And, believe you me, that is, like, that is 10 times better than the response I got from Ekalia's parents.
Is that so?
I mean, have you ever tried to dodge a fireball that someone's parents are shooting at you? Never run as fast as I have then. But I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for her. I know that she can be a little spitfire sometimes.
That is what I love about her.
Yeah, I think she gets that from me. Well, maybe, actually. No.
We want it to be a quiet ceremony, just me and her in front of the gods.
Alright, so I'm not a god. I don't think. I think someone would have told me if I was a god. But, so, alright, so just the two of you and the gods?
A vow to each other, something very simple, hand fasting. We do not
Oh.
want it to distract from preparations for the battle.
Have you told your mother?
Oh, yes.
Did she throw a fireball?
She hit me and told me finally.
That sounds about right. Yeah, it sounds wonderful, but I mean, you should make it memorable. I know you don't want to take away from the battle, but this may be like the last chance you get.
Yes.
And I know Aravad would definitely want to be there. He gives really good speeches.
Perhaps he can marry us.
Or even Ruby. I mean, she's like a cleric of Saren Ray. And like
That's fair.
Saren Ray gave her like a dog.
You know, this was all Sarah's idea. And suddenly I'm overwhelmed by all of these choices, so I will ask her.
Well, oh, that sounds perfect. I mean, or I can make the choice, and it'll be like a surprise. I'm sure she loves surprises. Actually, no, she definitely does
she
not.
does not.
Yeah, that would be a disaster. Smart move asking her, and not me. But I'll tell you this: the secret to a happy marriage is having conversations. Never go to bed angry at each other. Always talk out how you feel, and if you don't know how you feel, sound it out and kind of explain the gist. I know some people are really bad at that, but definitely explain the gist of kind of what you're feeling so they can get an idea, and maybe it'll help you figure it out. It's like a long word in the scribble scrabble. You can like be like, "What's this? I don't want to learn it," and they'll be like, "That's your name, Dumbo," and you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds about right." But I'm just going on. I'm just really excited for you, and I ramble. It's probably my old age. I know I don't look it. I'm pretty old. Like, practically ancient.
Thank you, Madrian. You
You're,
honor me.
No. You honor me. And I'll give him another hug.
He'll take it.
And, shoot. Would it be pretty easy for me to get a new sword?
Yeah.
Okay. During the lead up to this, I would write a note. It probably takes me a few weeks. And it'll just say, "Hey, Arrow, when my parents left me, I didn't really get to talk to them, but because they left me, but this is a sword that I've had ever since I started adventuring, and I want you to have it. And welcome to the family. Love, Madrian, Wolfhurt." Because I misspelled it.
Sorry, I did not know that's how you spell your last. It's not.
Oh yeah, I've definitely tried my best.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'll give him the basket hilted saber with the kind of wolf head.
Mm-hmm. He is honored once again and tells you that it will be a family heirloom.
I mean, don't risk your life over it. It's not magical.
It is
Well,
to
I mean-
me. Signy. During this time, you also are privy to all of this information, probably more than Madrian. How do you feel about all this?
Great, actually. Me and Madrian really got close. That is a...
I knew this was going to be this kind of stream today. I knew it.
This comes out! Damn it! Okay. Okay. We've got...
Close.
I don't want to say any O's.
Like best friends.
Yeah. So, Goat's reaction is just great. Okay.
Like Ruby and Aravad.
I'm not gonna talk in an accent while I describe this because I'm nervous. But God, it's fine.
Do you want me to go to Ruby really quick?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ruby.
So, I probably have done similar things as Aravad and Madrian, where I helped out where I could. I still, in my very little free time, continue to work on my book, which I have decided to call. Hold on, I've got this. The Birth of Light and Truth. I keep scribbling that at the beginning of every entry to remind me and to make sure that it still sounds good every time I add something to it. I've kept my head pretty low. I'm at this point, I think late 40s, early 50s. So I'm still relatively young as far as halflings are concerned, but I've been around for quite a while. I've had a lot of life already, and those dreams of being a hero are so far gone at this point. It's now just a matter of making sure that the war ends and we win. And I have become very focused on everything I can do to ensure that.
Sometimes whenever you're writing, you feel her presence just on your shoulder. Like a small sprite, almost a little bit of warmth. Just watching. After a while, you get the sense that she is going to miss you just as much as you are going to miss her.
Right in the heart, Camille. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I have also bought a little red, like, not really collar, but like maybe a leather, a strap of leather around Charlie. Just something to like give him a little bit of something to make his
Flair.
golden fur shine. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it does.
Can I add that I spend an inordinate amount of time playing with Charlie?
Yes.
Excellent.
Signy?
This is a stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You mean change the music?
It's not really sad, but
Oh.
I'm trying to go back to what I was trying to say, which is that when I talked to Ero about marriage, he comes back after talking to Madrian, and I go up to him and ask, how did it go?
It went well, I think.
Good.
Just as you said.
I see that Madrian gave you a sword.
Yes. I will cherish it for always.
That is good.
But I think I will give it to Asara to keep for now.
Well, Ero, as an Amaranth, you know what is coming. Your birthright. And I unsheath my sword and hold it in front. This sword, this moonblade, Ifirinkal, belongs to you.
But not yet. It is still yours.
When this is over, this battle, you will need to protect everyone, all your people. as I must turn my attention to a greater task.
I hear you. Are you giving him the blade now? Or are you waiting?
I had to push Mochi. I think after the battle, I will give it to him.
Okay.
Yeah. And during these years as well, I've actually returned to the Feywild.
Mm-hmm. When you return, you are heralded as a queen, a savior of your people, a light in the darkness. You find it is almost surreal the way they admire you and uphold you.
So, with this responsibility, I guess, I will take the years in leading the people in the Feywild, and I'll return when the battle is upon us. So
You get a lot more time in the Feywild than you would have in the Prime Material Plane. You get 50 years of time in the Feywild for your 10 that you would have spent on the Prime Material Plane. And that time you find you have built an empire. You have united a people who were fractured, given them hope in a time of war between Corellon and Lolth, shown them that just because a being is divine does not mean they are above reproach. And when your friends need you the most, you return to them. Where do they find you? Where does she find you all, Ruby, Madry, and Arvad? As the battle is a few days away.
How far away is that little town we all met in?
Pretty close.
Sounds like a perfect place to meet up for a third time at the same little inn. But I'm up.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm up for negotiation though.
Yeah. You all would probably arrive before Aravad. Abnormally late. I've been making little side trips to the temple or camp or wherever that Jonathan is. And I haven't been stopping to see him, but I've been sneaking into like his tent or wherever he's working and like hiding notes of wisdom or just like little small gifts and items, just kind of encouraging him to continue on. I like that kid.
As you do, you feel a familiar warmth in your chest of acknowledgement. Doesn't happen very often, but
Sure.
You feel it. You find yourselves in the same damn tavern that we first started in. For the third time. And the last person to walk in is Signy. Signy, how have you changed? Oh, I'm sorry, Ruby, I forgot to ask how you've changed physically.
Probably not much.
Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 gray hairs from the stress of war, but otherwise I look pretty much the same.
Signy, how have you changed physically?
I mean, not that much. Just I don't really look that aged. Kind of the same, since especially because I've spent so much time in the Feywild too. Like, I still pretty much look the same. The shaved sides of my head are now grown out. It's still braided on the top, but it's longer hair up to where mine is right now, with braids. And the armor that I wear is a little bit more ornate, just because of my stature in the Feywild. It has like, instead of like that owlbear pelt, it has more like feathers and like what, I don't even really know what kind of birds are in the Feywild, to be honest, but
Sure.
yeah, just kind of like that. And I guess there is like a circlet area like right here. It's a silver one, that, you know, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't look that different.
Signy walks in, and you are reunited once more.
Turn and I see Signy, and I see the circlet. Does it have any kind of significance? Would I know what that means?
I would say you would probably understand, like, considering Osiren's domain of kingship, I think you would innately understand what it meant.
I will stand up and I will put my arms out. Everyone, please, a low bow to Queen Signy of the Feywild.
Arvad, no.
A queen? When did that happen?
Where,
And
was
why
she
didn't you tell us?
Recently, I imagine.
It was
Come now, everyone, show respect. This is
Arvad.
not only a war
What?
hero, but royalty.
I mean, I definitely think it's illegal if you were a queen before and didn't tell us. I think
Oh,
you
is
by
it?
law you're supposed to tell people you're a queen.
So, I was not. Now I am. So.
Well, that's good. So I guess I suppose I'll bow.
No, please don't. I go over to them and I lift them up. I'm pretty muscular, so.
I
He's
mean,
a
I
tough
also
gal.
don't weigh that much. I imagine it doesn't take much for Ruby, so it's fine.
As you grab Arvad to try to pick him up, he makes eye contact with you and snaps his fingers, and he like just kind of melts to dust and then appears on top of the bar. He takes gold out of his pockets and throws it to everyone and say, "Bow to the gifts of Queen Signy," and then I'll bow again to try and get the bar.
Aravad!
How many patrons are in here?
Like,
do I
there's
need
like
to move
50
to like
people.
the side of the room? Oh, I'm gonna move to the side of the room, like away from the crowd.
Throw out like 300 gold.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's freaking out. Patrons they're not scrambling, but they kind of are you kind of throw the gold out and you watch some people catch it out of the air, and this is a war town, so people, you're surprised to see that people recognize your faces.
Well, I was hoping this meeting was going to be a little bit more discreet, but all things
Signy, how
considering.
long have you been traveling with us? You should know that's not going to happen.
Yes,
Wow.
that is
What's
correct.
discreet mean?
Ruby. Quiet.
Subtle.
Madrian,
Quiet.
how long has it been and you still have not learned how to read?
Oh,
Did-
I can totally read and write. I just choose not to. It's a choice. I
All
think.
these years and you have not changed at all?
The ground begins to rumble.
Oh heck.
Oh, frick.
Bow drawn. It's probably Earth Elementals again. Let's do this.
Where's
Round
the statue?
two. Round two.
break into that same house, get that same suit of armor. Come on, bud.
Yeah, let's do this. Well,
Do you go
Maybe they
out
wanna-
and investigate?
oh yeah, heck, I'm already out the door. I'm like, boop, 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 bow out, ready to go.
Wasn't this like last time too? The first episode?
Exactly. I gotta be. If it's a really big thing, when I exit the door, I'm definitely gonna go. Oh shh.
I also go out there too.
It's a matter of severity. On the oh no to the oh my meter.
What you see on the horizon. And I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat, general chat. You see two beings. One is tall and slender, vaguely humanoid these creatures are both appear to be made out of stone, both glowing with a white effervescent radiance. One of them is tall and broad-shouldered, kind of glides over the earth with a face that is comes down into a triangle with one large eye in the center. This is the Black Star. This is Temesis. Next to him is a burlier figure, slower, heavier, with a mouth like 1,000 rows of jagged teeth and two eyes that seem to be pouring out that radiant energy as well. It's not radiant energy, it's their life force. This I'm missing the word. It moves on all fours, walking with its hands and feet, both all made of stone. All around them you watch lava, water, air, fire billowing out from their sides, destroying structures. They are coming right for, not for you, but they are heading directly towards the town of Madrid.
I think it's called Taversdale.
Taversdale. They are walking past, you see, and it looks like they are destroying everything in their path.
Do they
How
look
long till
happy
they get
about it?
there?
What was that?
Do they look happy to be destroying things?
Oh yeah. It looks like
Oh,
they don't
okay.
even care.
Oh,
Oh.
that ruins my plan of convincing them to stop.
How long till they arrive?
It does not look like they will arrive directly where you are, but the effects of what they are doing, you watch as these energies billow out from them. They are hundreds of thousands of feet tall. Your town is but a speck on their radar.
How far away are they?
I would say you have about 2 hours.
Okay.
And this is the effect of the corruption.
Dope. The time to act is now. Get the troops. Let's get ready to go. I'm going to try something.
Do you need us with you? Should we like grab a horse and start riding?
You should start riding to where the armies are.
All right.
They're going to need their leaders, you three.
I'm not much of a leader.
A dungeon master.
Hey, Ruby.
So the Taversdale is relatively close to where we are. How many miles would you say it is?
About 180 miles?
Okay. Thank you.
What?
Just
Think-
thinking.
I
Thank
think
you.
Ruby and I are looking at a similar option.
But maybe, maybe not. But you go
Okay.
ahead.
You're fine. The army will need their leaders. Ride swiftly. I'll meet you there.
All right. Where should I look at you? By like the spire, the tower. That's where I'll be. I'll be firing arrows.
I'll be nearby.
All right. If I fall, I'll probably fall to my death, but I'll try not to do that. And I'm gonna start riding. Run over to the stable, grab my horse, pull out a sending stone, send to the Dawn Watchers, and just say, "This is where I'm going. You don't have to come, but this is where I'm going."
Okay.
If you don't hear from me.
Okay.
And then I guess I'll send Akalia. She doesn't have to reply now.
Okay.
But it's just saying, going to fight Primordials. Going to fight Primordials. They are super scary. There are 2 of them, and I have to count. Think it's going to be a big fight. Stay safe. I will stay safe as well. Love you. You can reply.
Okay. You get because I'm not going to try and do a Kalia. You get an acknowledging reply. And she says that Arrow and Asara are on the way.
Right. Perfect. So I'm just going to ride there and then post up in the tower.
Okay. So it's going to be a bit of a journey for you. So you're going to go all the way to... Why can't I remember this town name?
Taversdale.
Taversdale.
Or is it Wolfcrest now?
Haversack.
Wolfcrest is the new one.
Oh, okay, cool.
They have moved. So Taversdale is like a long, sprawling city north of the White Cliffs, which people of the current realm will know there's nothing north of the White Cliffs anymore. In the current world.
Question
However,
2.
What's up?
Taversdale, did we already, like,
Evacuate it?
evacuate it? There's
Yes.
nobody there.
Yes, but there are illusions to make it look like people are there.
Okay. I'm just trying to see if...
There are armies waiting.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, like,
Yes.
this is gonna be a battle.
Yes.
Yeah, we're proceeding as if nothing has changed to trick the primordials, but all
Yes.
the innocents have been moved to safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just making sure Taversdale doesn't end up being Tavers done for.
Oh my god.
I need an oof card.
I
Because, like, I want to flash red, but I know that that's way not what this is. But I need something to express my distaste.
I think what you're looking for is a green card.
Now, oof. I need an oof. It's gonna be purple.
Did you have another question, Signy?
I actually wanted to get my mount.
What is your mount?
I am casting Find Greater Steed,
Mm-hmm.
and a giant elk appears before me. And I get up on it.
Yep.
And I say, Ton, this is probably one of the last battles that we will face. Ride swiftly.
And they do. You all watch as this massive elk, larger than any probably land creature you've seen in a while, Signy leaps up onto effortlessly, and they begin to ride off. Each of its single steps before it even begins a canter are wider than a horse's stance, and it takes off. Madryn, you are eventually surpassed by Signy.
Oh, it's not a race.
I mean,
Ruby,
All right. Charlie! Charlie!
comes bounding up, massive footfalls.
I look up, I pet his haunches and go, ready to ride? And I'll climb up on the dog and I'll start, yip yip, and I head towards Taversdale.
Oh, I'm not muted.
Charlie is unbelievably fast. Somewhere between Signy's mount and Madryn's mount, so it is not a problem for you to keep up. Arvad.
I take kind of a wider stance and kind of tap my feet, and I begin to fly. And I fly to, like, just outside of Taversdale.
Okay.
It's gonna be a drawing. Everyone on a boat. and then go just.
What do you do?
When I arrive at my location, I try to judge my distances. I take out my scepter, and I'll take out a vial of water that I have. Actually, I'll stop by like a nearby river on my way or something and grab some water. When I arrive, I take a moment and focus on the water, and I take out a little bit of silver and sprinkle it inside. And as I do, it takes a few minutes, but the water glows sort of this effervescent blue color. And then I'll take that in this hand, and I take my scepter out. With my scepter, I just begin drawing very large runes, not associated with any deity. Let me pull the spell back up.
Is this what I think it is?
This is what you think it is. Not associated with any deity. I begin drawing these runes. Were anyone to see this, they would know that this is being written in primordial. And as I finish the circle around me, I take the holy water and I pour it through. And even though it was just a small amount, it spreads throughout all of the runes. And I reach into my bag and I pull out a ruby. And I take it and I crush it between my hands. And I throw it into the air. And as I throw it into the air, at first it just seems like it's just going to fall. But then a wind picks up. And the dust of ruby begins scattering across the land. This world may have been your creation, but it is not your right to take. I forbid you from this land. And I cast Forbiddance, selecting elementals.
And this is the first casting of Forbiddance that the world has ever seen.
A red wave of this ruby dust, and with a small, mist of the holy water behind it, spread 7.5 miles in every direction, covering this land.
You watch as this 10 minutes that it takes to cast the spell, you notice that elementals are actually trailing behind Sahil and Temesis. They have their own army, and they are spread miles wide. And you watch as the forbiddance that you cast actually encompasses some of them. And they begin to burn.
Red hot flames just start ripping through their bodies every 6 seconds.
Yes. You catch a good portion of them in this forbidden spell as they try to escape. They try to keep up. Some of them take damage. Some of them are obliterated entirely. You watch as they run and burrow and whatever movement fly. Some of them trying to escape this spell. You watch as the two heads, Temesis and Sahil, turn to look at you, and they keep on going.
You've taken my life once, you will not do it twice. And I will fly in towards the town to meet my allies.
Okay. So what this looks like is you are all running ahead of Temesis and Sahil towards this town as fast as you can. Let's make this a skill challenge. Who would like to go first? What are you doing? Describe to me what you would like to do as you are heading towards this town, or towards this town of Taversdale, where you know your armies are waiting for you.
I guess I can start us off if no one else wants to.
Go ahead, Madrian.
I'm going to be pointing out choke points, places where elementals won't necessarily be able to burrow or fly over, so that we can kind of choke the ground forces into a nestled area and kind of fire at them from afar.
Okay.
And bottleneck them.
What kind of check would you like to make?
I mean, I think perception to kind of find what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll perception.
That is a 16.
That's a success. I will write that down. Okay. Who's next? Oh, let me describe this. So you do find this happens 3 times over the span of, I'm going to say it takes you a day, a whole 24 hours of going nonstop. This first area, you are able to find several choke points where you're able to reduce the number. It's a close call a couple of times whether you're able to get out, and it does slow you down just a little bit and lessens the gap between you and Sahil and Temesis. Their presence is ever present just beyond your horizon, and you almost grow deaf to the sounds of their Sahil's footfalls and handfalls on the ground, the way it shakes. Temesis just kind of glides above. You see, like, there's no separation between him and the ground, but there's no noise as he moves along. It's very startling. Who's next? That was a good idea, Madrian. Arvad, you got anything?
Sure. I will attempt to the areas where it seems like a great away from Zahil and Temesis, so that their lava effects and shit don't screw this up. But where it looks like maybe the elementals are trying to go around and trying to get around the forbiddance, I will go and use Wrath of Nature to sort of grow up the trees and the roots and the grasses and the rocks.
Make a spellcasting check for me.
Okay.
This DC is going to be very difficult because of you are trying to use their nature against them.
That's fine. Does my scepter give me a bonus to these things?
+2, yes.
+2, cool. All right.
And you have 1 advantage and 1 crit if this overlay is correct.
I'm just gonna make the roll.
Okay.
$29.
Yes. Bards, yo.
That staff its scepter is very handy. So as I fly through, I'll just like raise my arms, looking at various points, and say, "This is your world. They created it, but it is your life. Rise to its defense."
And it does so. The earth nature itself seems to conspire against its creator. Very like a fracture. There's almost like a fracture within the reality of this primaterial plane, as the ground becomes almost too hard for them to burrow under. The air becomes too wild for them to fly through. The trees block. The stones hold firm. You've slowed them down. You've put a lot of distance between the two of you. That's another success. Ruby.
Okay, so we're still charging towards Taversdale at this point. Arvad is the only one that is there, right?
Arvad is not there yet.
Okay.
You are all kind of traveling together.
Okay.
It goes Temesis and Sahil. They are trying to go through Taversdale. It looked like they would destroy it were it not for forbiddance. And then they are going, through, not Taversdale, through the Whitehall.
Okay.
Or White Tree, or whatever the town name is that have been meeting in. They would have destroyed it were it not for forbiddance, and they are going around it and towards Taversdale, and you are running ahead of them. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I've been looking through my spell list while I've been listening, so I'm trying to think. Okay.
No worries.
So, I would like to. How far are these two primordials away from us? Like,
you can get as close to them as you need.
Okay. I would like to spend while I'm riding Charlie,
yes,
I'd like to have one hand on his little collar and the other I want to reach into my pouch and pull out some dirt, a rock, and some clay, and I grasp them all in my fist and start to concentrate as I'm watching Sahil and Temesis and call out, break. And while I do, I would like to attempt to create fissures in the pathway of these two primordials. I think according to the earthquake spell, I roll 1d6 and then you choose the locations where. And each one is 1d10 by 10 feet deep, 10 feet wide, and extends from one end.
I'm familiar with
spells.
Earthquake. Yes.
You are? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
No, I'm very excited.
Okay, so let me roll the d6. So that's 4 fissures. And then a d10. So they are 20 feet by 10.
You watch as there's a new tremor. A different drum beat, almost, in the cacophony of sound. These 4 fissures open up lengthways between the way they are going and where they are headed, between you all. You watch as... Oh! Sahil falls directly into one of them. His elemental army pausing, waiting for him to pull himself out. He is going to be able to pull himself out, but you have added more time to your clock. That is
good.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you that success. That is 3 successes.
Now he's just shamed.
He isn't. He's embarrassed.
This is how we're gonna win this encounter, guys. We're just gonna cast all of Camille's favorite spells.
Yes.
I know.
And that earthquake should also count as a vicious mockery, I think.
I'm too focused on making the ground change. I'm good.
Signe, how would you like to help towards the skill challenge?
See, I don't know. I'm assuming that armies from the Feywild came as well.
Your army. Yes.
Yeah. My army. So as I am heading towards the Tavistyle town, I should not do that. I want to stick with my army, and I feel like the presence of their queen will give them more, like, bolster them, and also what I'm trying to describe is aura protection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be fighting the elementals that have not been affected by Aravad's spell, if that's...
Sure. So your army is waiting for you up in Taversdale. You are still on your way there. Would you like to use aura protection on your friends to keep them safe while you are all 4 of y'all are traveling up to meet your armies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a 10-foot radius, so I think it's just a trait that I have.
Of course. Let's do something really cool. Roll a d20 and add your spellcasting attack bonus, which I think should be a +4 or 5.
What is a spellcasting modifier?
Look at your. Hold on, it's your
Charisma?
for yeah, it should be your charisma for paladin.
Oh, okay.
Nobody told me that the wrong overlay was up.
A charisma is 3.
And
Right?
then your proficiency. What's your proficiency bonus? +5? What's your proficiency bonus, Arvad? It should be next to your initiative, I think.
Oh, 5.
5, yeah.
You're right. It's right
So
there.
3 + 5. So roll a d20, add an 8 to it.
Okay.
I want to do something cool.
18.
Okay. You are able to extend your aura of your aura of protection momentarily by, let's see, 40 feet in either direction. Go ahead and mark off one of your channel divinities for me, though.
Okay.
So anytime an elemental even gets close to you all, you feel Signy's aura of protection kind of envelop over you. Signy, what does it feel like when their aura of protection, your aura of protection, it covers somebody?
So, as it comes over you, you feel kind of a cold chill, like you stepped into a refrigerator.
Very good.
Yeah, and then because that cold chill, when you're in the aura, your breath can be seen. So it's like a icy protection.
Very good. Just ahead of you, you see. So not only have y'all successfully pushed back this elemental army, but you've also sped ahead, and you see the town of Taversdale with its illusory citizens. Your armies, you know, are hiding, camouflaged into the icy, wintry exterior. That's where we're going to take our quick break. And when we come back... Welcome. Andrew, can you get that for me? Thanks, babe. Welcome to the part 2 of today's session of the First Dawn. What do each of your armies look like? So, Madrian, you noticed that your Dawn Watchers, all 160 of them.
It's so many. I honestly only knew like 8 of them.
Mm-hmm. Have arrived. Ruby, you are in command of the entire army of Sarenrae, including Leonis and Amy Stormwild, who have joined this fight. Signy, you have the full force of the Feywild at your disposal. Elves of all kinds riding in on their strange and wild mounts. Each one is unique and beautiful as the next. And Arvad, you have Asmodeus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Asmodeus. Tell us a little bit about Asmodeus.
Well, he's huge. First of all, he has these brilliant white wings that, while I mean they are feathered, they look like they're made of long pieces of steel. His face is stern, very angular, very clean cut, very short hair. But he does have it's a circlet that kind of curls up into horns and then comes back down. And it's the mantle of the war god. He does have a slight cape, kind of like a shoulder cape that sort of comes down in between his wings. And his armor is these brilliant, like, reds and blues.
You have Asmodeus, the great servant of the goddess Siren, at your beck and call. And
when
his
I
army.
When I see that, I will bow ahead and say thank you for your help.
You also have, in the distance, you hear the thundering sound of wing beats. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And a 5-headed dragon lands just on the cliffside. A mountain in the distance, you see the goddess Tiamat. All of her 5 heads let out a terrible roar. And you see even Sahil pauses for just a moment and looks at his companion. In the distance, you watch the sun grows brighter and brighter and brighter, and suddenly, with a eternal flame just appearing, Sarenrae, the goddess, her hair aflame, her scimitar at hand, massive white wings. And then, thunder. As you see the great god of war, Bane. Full plate armor, massive circular golden shield, helm covering all but glowing red eyes, huge capes billowing behind him, walking just very casually, easily, sword at his side. Bane, the god of war, approaching. You see he has his own army. Following behind, loyal. Here we go.
Well, this is rather unfortunate that all three gods that I had in a vision that died are all here on the battlefield, right?
How
Don't
unfortunate.
remind us.
So I guess we need to roll initiative.
Yeah.
All right. The flagship roll, everybody.
All right. Hey, I rolled all
Oh,
right.
that sound.
Dungeon Master, I'm going to use one of my advantages from chat.
Okay.
So I rolled a 19 on my very own Wolfwood
Oh,
box. This one is in Purple Heart.
oh, tell us more. Where can you get these
So
boxes?
you can get this one on Wolfwood Studios at on Etsy if you would like these. I rolled a 19 on my very own Wolfwood Purple Heart dice box. That is
Stacey!
handmade by a very own DM Camille.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the name of that studio?
That is Wolfwood Studios for your dice tray / helmet needs.
You know, it's funny you should mention Wolfwood Studios, Stacy, because I too have this Bloodwood tray, and I know most people when they get their trays, they like to do like some test rolls, feel it out. I did not do this. I decided that this would be the first roll I ever made, which was for this battle, and I am posting what I rolled in the Discord right now.
Wow.
If it's a
Because
natural
my
one, I'm
first
gonna
roll
cry.
in this tray was a nat 20.
Oh,
And
that's how you know they're good quality.
that's how you know
So-
that the wood is good quality and
Good
it's
quality wood.
handmade. Wolfwood Studios on Etsy.
So, check them out.
My face hurts. Stop it.
All right, let's do this.
I
Okay.
like how at least three of us rolled really well.
Ruby has been oddly silent.
Ruby, do I need to send you a tray?
I will be buying one eventually. But I ended up with my advantage from chat. I ended up getting a dirty 20.
Okay. Madrid.
Altogether, I
Date's
have a
favorite
29 for initiative.
Nice. So I think Madrian's first. Okay. And then Arva, what was your total roll?
24.
Signy, what'd you roll?
That's a 20 for me, but 19 plus 1.
Who would like to go first, Signy or Ruby?
You can go ahead,
Okay.
Stacy.
Signy will go
What?
first.
Get off my.
She just wants your love.
Poor Mochi.
She keeps jumping on my tower, and she turned wands off the last time she did that.
Just looking for the war.
Okay. Madrian, you are up first. What would you like to do? You see.
All right.
Well, sorry, I was just gonna go ahead and do some
Oh, no,
more
after you.
describing for
After you. Yeah, lay it on me, Chief.
As Sahil and Tamesis arrive, they begin to destroy the actual physical locations of this of Taversdale. Begin to tearing down buildings. You know that there is a plan, because this battle is not meant to take place in Taversdale. This battle is meant to take place somewhere else, and you know that in order for you to move them, they need to be within a hidden circle. Everybody needs to be within this hidden circle that spans miles and miles wide. So they are moving forward, tearing, pulling at the ground, trying to destroy these illusory human beings and elves and dwarves and whatever, all the races. What would you like to do?
Am I currently in the circle that they need to go to?
Yes.
How many feet away am I?
How many
from
feet away would you
them?
like to be?
Within longbow range, preferably.
Sure.
I've made a habit of shooting primordials.
Yep.
Not effectively, but I've been shooting them. So I will cast haste on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna shoot this bow. And I'm gonna shoot it 2 times.
Are you shooting it at Are you shooting it at the
Floaty, glowy eye man. It's the one I'm gonna shoot at.
the Temesis, the one with the single eye?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna aim at his eye.
Okay. Make a
And
shot.
okay, I don't want to roll the purple die. I want the Madrian dice. Well, that's 2 2s. But I do have a advantage. Do I want to burn an advantage? I'll take the what do I get a plus? Oh, I have a plus 15. That's 2 17s to hit.
Unfortunately, 2 17s will not hit.
It's okay. Next time, at least I have haste now. And I think I'm up in a tower.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna stay up in the tower. I think that's a cool place to shoot arrows from. Puts me
Okay.
closer to their eye.
Okay. You watch as Temesis feels these arrows. You're not the only one shooting at him. You watch as some of Signy's army unleashes a volley of arrows. Fireballs come hurtling towards them. You watch as he takes his arms and shakes them towards the ground, and off of him begins to fling these black star pawns and knights and prowlers, and they like he is just fresh out of a shower and just flinging the water off of him. These creatures fall from him, created by his energy. They each go flying into a rage within the town and begin to claw at the armies and run amok. What's up, Arvad?
They each take 5d10 radiant damage.
Yep.
20. They take 28 radiant damage.
Okay, good to know. They're still up. These are hardy creatures. Oh my god, Temesis has so many hit points. Okay. Okay. You watch as a meteoric shockwave goes in all directions from Temesis. Especially buildings take tons of damage and begin to rubble and shake and turn into dust. It is Arvad's turn.
Preparation for this fight, I would have built for myself out of pieces of buildings or whatever a large statue.
Of course.
It's fairly monstrous. It would have been like a large dragon statue. That's what I would think I would have built.
Oh yeah.
I go find that statue, and I will put a hand on its head and say, "Your beauty is great, but now it is time to see your ferocity." And just this light, like purple wave of energy kind of goes out at it, and it just sort of cracks to life. The enemy is there. And send my animated construct off to battle.
Oop. Sorry, y'all.
Then I will turn and I will look to Signy and say, "Your Majesty, may your blade carve a royal wake through your foes. You are inspired." This time, though, instead of like this weird note flying around, it is a crown that like kind of floats around your head and sort of like embellishes the circlet that you're wearing to look a little bit bigger.
After your turn, you watch as Bane begins to walk just very calmly towards this inner circle where he knows he needs to be as well. You watch as he takes his sword, raises it into the air, and yells, "Charge!" And as soon as he does, his entire army flocks underneath him. You see all sorts of creatures have come to his aid. A lot of humans, a lot of dwarves, all of the races. There's no discrimination here in his followers. If you are willing to pick up a blade and fight for him, you are accepted. They all begin to run. You see half-orcs, orcs, goblins even, hobgoblins, and a small entire army of hobgoblins are all rushing forward into where past you see there's like a faint glowing line of this teleportation spell. And they all rush past and begin to attack these elementals. The battle begins to swarm around all of you. Next up is Signy.
What's around me? Like, how close
you've got your choice. Within your movement speed, there are allies and enemies.
Okay.
Just tell me what Signy would be doing if she's going after one who's wounded, the big baddest thing she can find.
Probably the biggest bad that she could find.
Yeah.
She will be going for it.
The biggest bad she can find is a Black Star Annihilator.
That's what she's going for.
This is a creature that has spawned off of Temesis. A Black Star Annihilator, it seeps shadows like black flame. And you know these things act with depraved will and energy. A point of blue light serves as its sensory organ, and this Annihilator flies over its targets, and uses the surrounding black stars to initiate combat. It likes to land right in the middle and do a black star fall, and it has done that right in front of you.
So as I'm charging towards it, I'm still riding on Ton, and I stand up on both my legs on the elk, and propel myself above the Black Star Annihilator. I am double wielding as my shield is floating around me. So I'm gonna try and slash it.
Go ahead and take your roll with advantage, because I'll say this is the it has crashed into the earth and begins to rise up again, and as soon as it begins to rise up, you have launched yourself from Ton, who turns around and gets ready to circle back in case you need them. Mm-hmm. And you bring your blade down. Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage.
That's a nat 20.
Of course it is. That hits.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was gonna roll again, but that's as good as you can get. So
well, you get 2 attacks.
That's 2 attacks. Okay, and
yes,
okay. So as I come down, I'm gonna slash back up.
Yep.
So, all right. That's an 18, but I get an advantage, right? I'm just gonna... Or is that on the first one?
That 18 will actually hit.
Okay.
Yeah, that was advantage on the first one.
Oh, also, I crit on a nat 20.
Yep.
So I have to. I don't know if it even has a head that I can cut off.
You know what? We'll say that you do. We'll say that it does. As you know what? Would you like? Okay. Here's an idea. As you come down, its eye has one center eye, just like Temesis. And as you shove your moonblade down into it, you bring it to the ground and you watch the eye search around. It's an eye of just basically white energy. It flickers, and then goes out. You have another attack for the next creature that you see. You can launch yourself off of this Black Star Annihilator and hit the next Black Star Prowler. They're like a cat-looking figure.
So as I do that, I slash again, and like whatever little head goes flipping around, and I will leap again and try and attack that one. That is the 18, right?
Yes, and that does hit.
So that is 1d8 plus 5. 1d8. What is a d8?
It's the one that looks like this
I
guy.
need my cheat sheet. That is correct. Okay.
The little double pyramid.
Oh, I'm two-handed. So
Yeah,
it's
so it's a
1d10.
D10. Yep. So it's this guy.
So it's one of these.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not cocked, but it's a 10 plus 5, so 15.
And do you want to add any divine smite to that?
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Let us see what kind of smites I got.
Well, you could add a divine smite, so it's mark off a spell slot to add 2d8 to that roll.
Okay.
You can mark off a first level spell slot and add 2d8 to that roll.
2d8. That is the little
Yep.
these ones.
Yeah.
That is a 6 and an 8.
So 15
So-
plus 6 and 8, that's another 15, nope, 14, 29 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
You slash at it, and it lets out a yowl, essentially, and begins to attack you back. Does a 20 and a 19 hit?
They do.
Oh, they have
but-
disadvantage, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, or Arva, did you cast that on her? Protection from good and evil? Okay.
Also, I'm gonna use my reaction to do a glorious defense.
Okay.
So when a creature you can see hits me with an attack roll, I can use my reaction to gain a +3 bonus.
Yeah?
Okay, so
What's
that's
your-
18, 19, 20, 21. It needs a 21 to hit.
Neither of those hit. What does this look like?
So, as I drop down, it's gonna swipe for me, but as soon as it does, my shield comes right there, like instantly, and blocks the damage. I can also, where did it go? If the attack misses, I can make one weapon attack against the attacker, or as a part of the reaction.
Make a weapon attack against the attacker.
So as it does the attacks, my shield flips around, and I do a
A swipe up.
upswing.
Yes. This is so cool.
That
Oath
is
of
a
heroism.
16 plus 5,
That will land.
and that is a d10.
Yeah.
That's a 15.
That, yeah. You take a
Eh.
massive swipe from him again.
And can I add another divine smite on that one? Or
You can. If you mark off the
Alright.
spell slot, certainly. Another 2d8.
That's 4. Another 4 points damage.
What does your divine smite look like?
So as it hits, usually like my thunderous smite, like there's like a thunderous or anything, but my divine smite, as soon as it hits, there's a light that like a golden light that fractures onto the prowler and melts down like lava.
Yes!
Yeah. So
Sexy.
as it like chunk, and then there's a golden light, and then little veinies. Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. What a great turn. After you watch as Tiamat begins to fly towards Sahil and lands direct confrontation, pummeling Sahil to the ground. They begin a close quarter melee fight between the two of them. Sahil, you watch, begins to grapple two of Tiamat's head at one time and is trying to tie them in a knot, essentially. The battle between them is disastrous as several creatures on both sides are crushed. Ruby, you are right there. Let me go get you a dexterity saving throw. See if you can get out from underneath them.
Okay. I'm gonna use my another chat advantage.
Yep.
I'm gonna use my DM inspiration,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna deal with that because my dice no longer.
Fate die, fate die, fate die.
Shh.
I'm trying to determine if I want to use my auto crit or not because otherwise this is gonna be really bad.
What's the roll?
I have an 8.
You want to just deal with it?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take some damage for the first time this campaign. I'll do it. It's fine.
Arvad.
I mean,
I will say, since Madrian's up next. Madrian, you might not exactly see this, but I feel like Arvad has a special eye on Ruby. Ruby, that's gonna be.
crits will not hit me.
I know.
Crits are normal, so okay.
It's not a crit. 100 points of bludgeoning damage. As you are crushed beneath Tiamat's wing. Madrian.
How far away is Tiamat, and is she still kind of flying still, sort
No.
of?
No. Tiamat and Sahil are now in a battle on the ground, locking.
Okay. Can I reach them?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Yeah, because I can only move 60 feet. Man, if she had still been flying, I was going to try and hop on her back, which would have been cool. But I will fire. How many fingers does this guy have?
Sahil? 3 on
Yeah.
each hand.
Oh, well, lucky for him, I get 8 shots with a action surge. So I am going to fire at all of his fingers.
Okay.
And I will burn however many lucky points I have on any misses,
3.
or the first
Okay.
3 misses.
You just got a handful of d20s!
So I get 8. I only have 6 d20s on me at the moment, so I'll have to roll 2 over. Actually, I'm gonna do this the simple way and just roll it on roll 20 because it's easier for me. So that is a 18 and 18. It's not. Oh, that's why. It's not rolling them individually. Okay. So that is a 20,
Hit.
a 16, which I will re-roll
Yep.
to be a 28,
Okay. 2 hits.
a 22,
Hit.
a 20,
Hit.
a 34, which is a nat. No, that's not a nat 20. That's a 19. So I
Hit.
don't crit because it's not a sword. A 30,
Hit.
and how many do I have left? 2.
6. Yeah, 2 left.
A 24,
Hit.
and a 35, which is a crit.
Those all hit. What does this look like?
So I think Madrian kind of runs to the edge of this tower and sees Tiamat kind of get crumpled down, and I think at that point when she had been flying by, he had been ready to like jump on her and he was gonna like fire, and he sees her get grabbed from the air and like thrown down, and he's like, oh, and he's already on this ledge. And I think Madrian's smart enough that he like already has a rope tied in case he had to like jump.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he grabs the rope and jumps down, and as he's kind of like sliding, he like holds the rope between his heels and starts firing his bow.
That's so cool.
And he's aiming for the fingers to kind of get her off the ground, and he'll holler out, oh, I'm gonna get on you once you get loose. We'll get him in the eye so he can't swing at you so you don't get picked out, because I think you specifically said she gets hit from when she's flying in the air.
She tackled him, and they are locked in a grapple.
Yeah, so his goal is to get her away from how she died in the vision by releasing her. So that is 8d8 plus 8 plus 1d8 force damage.
You want to roll all that?
Yeah, so that's 8d8 plus 8. Well, that's going to
Not to mention your crit.
differently. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna roll 68 right now, and then I'll roll another 6, and that'll be the first 6 rolls, and they'll add 8 to each individual thing.
All right. While you're doing that,
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of rolling, so just
go ahead.
skip, and I'll just type you the damage.
Okay, Aravad. Oh, do you have a reaction? Or you've already used your reaction? What's up, Signy?
I actually had a thing that
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But if I score a critical hit and it reduces to 0
Yep.
hit points, I can choose 2 effects. One of 2 effects.
Yep.
Is Ruby in my vision? No. So can I choose 3 enemies
To make
for
friends.
a yes.
Yes, they are. This act itself, the elementals you watch that were going to attack you just pause and begin to back away. We will address them on your turn. Arvad, you have watched Signy get crushed by Tiamat. What are you going to do?
Ruby.
Ruby.
crushed by
Sorry,
Tiamat.
Ruby.
I fly to where she was.
Mm-hmm.
Do I find her?
You can try.
I'm gonna try to find Ruby.
Okay. You can make a strength check or an investigation check.
I have a feeling that by 13, my bonus for investigation's a little higher than my strength.
Probably.
So that is going to be a 28.
You hover just above where Tiamat and Sahil are wrestling, just outside of, and you have to duck as one of her wings comes around, and as she's there, yes, it's like a dance for you. And there is one moment where Ruby is exposed. She is caught between, like right underneath a stone, like a pillar.
Okay.
You can go get her.
I'll fly to her. 2 motes of light sort of like come out from my shoulders, and I grab one in one hand and one in the other, and I reach her, and the first thing I do is I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 6th level.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. That is several. 14, 21, 28, 34, 41, 46 hit points restored. As I like touch your shoulder, as I assume is what I can find. And then I crush the other moat and pull out a familiar strip of leather and wrap it around your wrist, and this blue energy comes through. Be free, my little star. And I cast Freedom of Movement, which instantly gets you out of any grapple or restrained conditions. So
Yes.
you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's everything. Yep.
After your turn, you watch as Sarenrae finally enters this. Go ahead.
My,
I did the
my
math.
animate thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna fly, and it's going to work with Tiamat to attack Zahil.
Sahil.
Yeah, Zahil.
Oh,
Is that not what I
okay.
said?
I heard Z.
Oh, my bad.
Madrid, what was your total roll?
That
Oh, you
is
gotcha.
100 piercing damage and 40 force damage.
Okay.
God!
Sahil's hand no longer has hands. And he is grasping with these like stumps as he's trying to hold Tiamat, and Tiamat breaks free of him. And you watch all 5 of her heads come down and begin to try and pull him apart.
Damn.
I apologize in Primordial. I'm like, sorry.
So my dragon golem flies at Heel and like into its eye and just slams as hard as it can into it. It rolled a nat 20.
Oh god.
So it got a 32 to hit.
Yes, that hits. Is that Temesis or Sahil?
Whichever one, Zahil, I believe, the one team up's
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah, Sahil.
And so that is 23 force damage.
Yeah. You watch as one of its eyes gets obliterated, and it's part of its maw gets torn off by this golem dragon. As soon as the end of your turn is up, Sarenrae comes flying into battle, a bursting ball of light, adding brilliance wherever she shines. And as soon as she does, you watch as the runes hidden around this battlefield all begin to activate. And the world begins to spin. Every living creature in this world, or in this circle, is transported to the actual location of the final battle, where the gods have carefully prepared a meticulous advantage, death's reach in the Feywild. You all watch as the world spins up above you, and you come crashing down. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw. You have advantage because you knew this was coming.
Can I use my glowy wings
Yes.
to not fall?
Yes.
Okay, I will do that.
Yes.
Can I use an advantage that I have? I rolled a 2 twice. Can I use
But,
what the fuck? That was another 2. Can I use
You
another
have
advantage?
inspiration. You have inspiration. For me. You can roll a d10.
Oh, I can roll a d10.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Thank you. Watch it. Gonna be a 2 on a d10. Is that a 90?
9. It would be a 9.
9? Okay. That's not good.
Add it to your dexterity saving throw.
13.
As a note, the crown, the spectral one that I had cast, now kind of shimmers and covers your whole body. You now have 14 temporary hit points, Signy. So hopefully that helps with whatever you're about to get hit with.
Do you want to take that 13, Signy?
Sure, it's gonna be a headache. It's fine.
Yeah.
30,
That's
34.
60 points of force damage.
At least it's not a door.
46 points of force damage. With
You said
those
how
10
many?
hit points.
60?
Yes. What did the rest of y'all get?
That was a headache.
Oh,
Like, for
Madrian
real.
didn't take any. Arvad, you're flying.
I rolled a 19 if
That's
I
a
need
success.
to, but yes, cool.
That's 30 for you.
17.
That's a success. It's 30
So
for
30
you.
points.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
And then you, as soon as you watch everybody come down, Saren Ray lets out a burst of light, and you are all going to gain another 20 points of healing.
Oh.
And you hear her
Oh.
celestial voice. Let us end this now. Signy, it's your turn.
I didn't take any damage. Just kidding. I only took a couple of points of damage. Okay. What is around me?
Around you, Black Star Crushers, these big burly guys, knights with their long swords, prowlers, elementals, people on your side. Tawn somehow miraculously survived. Who knew?
So, okay. Can Ruby, do you want to get out of where you're at?
Get out of where?
You're kind of like,
Aravad released me. I'm no longer pinned and
okay.
whatnot. So I'm good there. And we all just got transported. So
Were you gonna move anywhere?
maybe. I have things in mind I have to do.
Okay, because what I'm thinking is, if Tawn can get to you, to get to you.
You can just send Tawn over there, and if she doesn't need him,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send.
because you
him
wouldn't be
over
able to talk about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna send him over there.
Okay.
Them, yeah, them.
I think
Them over
Tawn
there.
is a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send him over there.
Okay.
And
Would you
I'm
like
gonna-
to kill some stuff?
hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Who do you think I am?
Signy just launches herself right. You kind of fell prone to the ground, but you launch yourself right back up and come back swinging.
Yeah, I'm gonna again attack the biggest bad.
Yep.
So.
We'll say it's a knight. That's the biggest bad right now.
Well, that's 4. No, I do a D10. That's right. No, that's a. I
gotta
do a
roll to
20
hit?
first. Yeah, that's a 4 plus. A 4 plus 10, so 14.
Oh, that just misses.
I get 2.
You get 2
Wanna
attacks.
try
Yes,
again?
you do.
That's a nat 20.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Okay, and that is a D10 plus 5.
And you double that. Double it in 10 when you roll it.
Double 10?
Double your dice.
Oh,
Vorpal?
that's
Also, oh no, don't roll, because this has a head.
Oh shit! Goodbye, head.
What does this look like?
Okay, so as I miss the what am I attacking again?
A knight, a
What is
Blackstar
that?
knight. This is a creature with like a massive head and a giant, made of all entirely Blackstar stone.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut down as I'm coming down, but the knight dodges away, and I get a little angry, so I swipe again, uppercut swipe, uppercut
Yep.
swipe, and chop that bitch's head right clean off there.
Yes, your Vorpal sword just cuts clean through this this stone of
Yeah.
this creature, and its head just flops to the ground.
So as it's cutting, because it's a Vorpal Moonblade, the blue hue on the blade glows as it cuts off.
Yes, yes, it does. Beautiful. What a good turn. Ah! Ruby.
Oh, and
and you get
it's-
your thing.
yeah, who's around me right now? Who's around me?
You've got some allies. You've got some elves that are trailing you. You notice that they're trying to protect you. Not that you really need protecting.
So I guess I'll give them 1d6 plus 3 temporary hit points.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and they are what's it called? It's not divine sense.
Aura of protection.
Yeah, that's still up. So
Yes, it's always up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are gathering a lot of attention from these Black Star creatures. You are gonna that's gonna be a 28, a 23, a 19, and a 15 to hit.
I'm sorry, hitting me?
Yes, you. 4 of those I'm pretty sure hit. All but the 18.
Can
All
I
but the
use my
15.
reaction again for the plus 3?
Yeah?
So it's 18, 19, 20, 21 to hit.
21, 23. I
So
don't-
how many of those hit me?
2 of them still hit you.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna take, let's see, from these Black Star Knights. You're gonna take 34 points from the first hit, and 20 points of psychic damage from the second hit.
Paladins.
Yes, honey. All right, which brings us to Ruby.
Okay, first of all, owie. I would like to. So I'm probably still writing, maybe not writing Charlie. I'm not entirely sure with the whole grappling thing, but either way,
Yeah, you were separated.
okay, good. I'm going to use my action to grab and use my shield.
Mhm.
You know, because I totally forgot to do that in preparation.
Mhm.
And then if I remember right, healing word I can do on myself, right?
Yeah.
Because it just says creature within range. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast healing word on myself.
What level?
Just at the first.
Okay.
Where's my d4? So that'll be another 8 points of healing for myself.
Beautiful. And your action?
Was to don the shield.
Shield is a free action.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Well,
Pretty
then,
sure.
and
I could be wrong.
I'm in the handbook, page 146. Shield is an action to.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you telling me that.
No problem. So yeah, I'll use my action to get my +2 AC because Lord knows I need it,
Yep.
and I'll do my healing, and then I'm all set.
Okay. That's the end of that round. You watch as Bane begins to run up to Temesis. This battle has gone on, we'll say it goes on several more rounds. Each of you, go ahead and everybody take about 10 points of damage. And sorry, ma'am. As this battle wages on, Bane begins to run up to Temesis, and you watch as Temesis actually takes one strike and with a critical hit knocks Bane down. Bane falls, struggling to get back up as he is swarmed with these elementals. And this is where Sarenrae comes in. Sarenrae flies down to Temesis. They begin to run towards each other and begin to lock. She raises her scimitar at him and goes for a swipe, and you watch as Temesis grabs her arm. You hear a cry from her as he crushes her corporeal figure. This is not an avatar of Sarenrae. This is Sarenrae herself. He takes her and you watch as he flings her and slams her onto the ground once, back up down, twice, back up down, and then goes to slam her on the ground, but flings her away. You hear a crash somewhere. And then nothing. Bane rises up in anger. Ruby, you feel all warmth drain from your body. You are shaken for one round as you have watched Sarenrae fall from the sky. Bane gets back up, starts to bring his greatsword. For the first time, you watch his composure break as he lets out a terrible scream, begins to slam his greatsword into Temesis over and over again. Madrian, what would you like to do?
2 questions.
Answers.
How did Bane die in the vision, and was Sarenrae's death in the vision the same as what just happened?
Sarenrae's death in the vision was not the same as what just happened. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how Bane died in the...
I think he got stabbed.
Yeah, I think he did get stabbed.
Does it look pretty close to that right now with him losing his composure?
No.
Okay, perfect. Well,
No.
that's good. He's not dead yet. Maybe. Hopefully. So I can fly. I need to make a spellcasting check to see if I lose haste.
Yep.
That is a 18.
It's
so I
a
think-
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. So 18 plus whatever my Constitution is, which is a plus 10.
Yes.
That's a 28.
Yes.
I'm a hardy boy,
Yes.
but not a detective. So I will fire 2 shots at the Primordial who is fighting Bane.
Okay.
One will be an arcane shot,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna try and... Is Tiamat up yet?
Yeah.
Okay, she runs. I'm gonna try and get on top of Tiamat.
You're gonna ride Tiamat?
Well, I'm flying right now, so I imagine I like swoop down
Yes.
and kind of land on her back because my goal is to keep any flying elementals off of her.
Yes, and you notice that as you get closer, in comparison to her dragon followers seem almost puny, but they are swooping and flying, and you see them attacking Jinn and genies and Ifrit and all kinds of things that are trying to attack her. So you have air support. There is air support here as well.
Perfect. Because my goal is to let her breathe all 5 things uninterrupted, so anything that's going to try and divert her from attacking, I will intercept. So one of these shots will be an arcane shot of shrapnel for anything in the air.
Yes.
So let me roll those. So that is a nat 20 for the Bane and a 28. So a 35 and a 28.
Yeah.
And then a 17 and a 15 plus 9 is a 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will all hit.
Awesome. So I'm going to say that, okay, since they all hit, arcane shot first. Let's roll damage. I don't even know what I'm firing. I'm assuming like 2 on the Primordial for Bane and then 2 on
Sure.
whatever. So here is the damage for that. That is 16 piercing plus 12 piercing for the Bane, for the Primordial fighting Bane,
Mhm.
plus 8 force damage, plus 16 radiant because I am in Angel Glowy Boy mode.
Mhm.
And then for the ones fighting Takis, oh, sorry, I need to roll an additional 2d6 for the arcane shot. My bad. That's 8 I don't know. For the one fighting Bane, it's going to be entangling.
Okay.
So that is.
Is there a
8 poison
size
damage.
limit for that?
Nope. It just says a creature hit by the arrow takes an additional 2d6 poison damage. Its speed is reduced by 10 feet, and it takes 2d6 slashing damage on the first time on each of its turn it moves 1 feet or more.
Okay. Good to know.
And they last for 1 minute. It's a athletics check, DC 12 to break, so I'm assuming he's going to break it. But he's a big boy, so
Okay.
I'm assuming he's just going to... So 8 poison. And then for the ones fighting Tiamat, that is 9 plus 4 plus 8, 12 piercing damage, and 13 force damage. And then the shrapnel is 2d6, I believe, fire? Man, I have so many abilities. Jeez. Bursting arrow, 2d6 force, so 9 force damage to everything within 10 feet of what I shot.
Yes. What does this look like?
I think I settled down on Tiamat, like my wings kind of hovering to kind of stay moving with her as she's kind of flying up. I run up the back of her spine, kind of firing towards Bane, and as that's happening, some elemental kind of starts coming for her neck, and I just kind of divert and fire 2 shots that, like, the arrow that is towards Bane is like a regular arrow, and then the wood that makes up the, I don't know the description, like the shaft of the arrow, peels back and kind of erupts into these vines. And as for the shrapnel arrow, I think the arrow glows like red with like a radiant light, and it just explodes on contact.
Yes, it does. Beautiful. That's a beautiful turn right there. Tiamat.
Bonus action, I'll healing word. Sorry, my bad. I'll healing word Ruby,
Okay.
if I can see her.
Yeah, I'll say at this point you could see her.
Okay.
Ruby
so
looks
that
like
is-
she is struggling.
That makes sense. Healing word is 1 bonus action,
Is
1d4 plus
Tarn
1.
closer yet?
Yes, he's close to her.
Here you go, Ruby. Enjoy 2 whole HP.
2 plus.
I think it's 1 plus 1. Or 1d4 plus 1.
Bless.
And, yeah, that's all I got. I'll just say,
Okay.
Good job!
That's all you've got? That's all?
That's my healing word, is just, good job!
Okay.
It probably comes out as like, because I'm flying really fast.
You watch
This
as
is
Tiamat.
fine.
Oh, no,
Is
go ahead.
Tiamat's turn before or after mine?
It's all kind of mishmash, but I've got something before your turn.
All I was going to ask if I can have your permission, I forgot to add 2 from my own healing, so can I just add 4 for
course.
Madrian's?
Of course,
Okay.
Of course. Tiamat begins to rear back and unleash each one of her breath weapons at the same time, battering down Sahil. You watch as he begins to melt away. Looks like he is on the end of his life here in the world. And that's when you see a glow of bright white in the distance. As Sarenrae begins to fly back, you notice Aravat and Signy would probably notice that her wing beats are irregular. She is wounded. She flies directly for Temesis, and with one swipe, Temesis takes her, flings her down to the ground, and you watch as her flame is extinguished. Ruby, for the next 6 seconds, you cannot cast spells, as the light has gone out from your deity. You watch as there is an eruption, like a cosmic blast, from the spot where she was. It echoes out, knocking over buildings, pushing Bane himself back. And in that moment, you watch as Bane takes his sword, and Asmodeus from behind comes up, and each of them together take their blades, drive them through Temesis, pick him up, slam him onto the ground, once, twice, 3 times. Aravat, it's your turn.
I will look over at Ruby. And I start to reach out. I just close my eyes. Asmodeus, rip him in half and I just take off flying straight towards Temesis. Can I get there?
Yes.
As I fly, there are tears, and they start to glow purple. And instead of falling away, they fall just kind of like right in front of my chest, and they form 2 small purple motes of light. And as they sort of come into me, and they go to my hands, I say, Temesis. And I just reach out and touch Temesis with both of my hands. And I'm going to use my auto crit for one of them.
Yep.
And the other one, I'm going to spend an advantage. And I'm going to spend my other advantage. And I'm going to spend my fate die. There it is. I really wanted to crit on all of these. Yeah. I'm casting Inflict Wounds at 8th and 7th level.
Okay.
So, those at home, that is 19d10. And then doubled, so just give me a second. 20, 30, 40, 50, 61, 71.
Aravad, you can stop counting.
I'm gonna finish counting just because this is fun, but 4, 92, 101, 105, 210 necrotic damage as this purple energy coats my body, and it looks like liquid instead of the normal glow that it is. I reach both hands, and my fingers actually break into his flesh, and this purple wave goes through him, and this bright purple star starts streaking energy out from inside of him.
You've used your fate die. I'm sure you probably know what the consequence of this is going to be.
Probably.
Everybody watches as Aravad begins to grow in size. Larger than life. You see before you a figure of immense power. You see before you Osiren, the god of kingship, the god of humans, as he takes Temesis, and with the help of his archangel Asmodeus, tears him apart. At the same time, you hear a scream from Zahil as each one of Tiamat's heads has ripped them apart to shreds. All that is left are vague remnants in death's reach. Aravad, what do you do?
As I've grown in size, I just saw your private message where you said you're using your fate die. Yeah. Where is it? There it is. My eyes turn just like they're pools of sapphire blue. And entirely, there's no iris, there's no nothing. There's a purple energy that had been shooting through that hits me and begins to flow behind me as though it is a long cape. My armor that I was wearing just sort of crumbles to dust, and this majestic blue set of garments with the silver filigree covers me. The sky around my head burns momentarily as a crown made of ruby appears. And my hair grows a little bit longer, the gray fading away as it comes to a dark shade of red. And I just sort of fall to my knees. Ardenea? Tevlaniel? Come to me.
You hear thunder from up above. And you see the figures of Ardenea and Tevlaniel at your beck and call appear. They each give you a very low and regal bow.
Asmodeus, kill them all.
He gives you a nod. You see a tear.
Ardenea, find her.
You see tears streaking down Ardenea and Asmodeus' face. Asmodeus is acting as if maybe he does not care, but you see it behind his eyes. Ardenea takes off, disappearing into the ether.
Tevlaniel, heal them. Just starts sobbing.
You watch as the army of Sarenrae, most of them stop what they are doing and begin to make their way towards the place where she fell. Where it happened, there is a cliffside now. A patch of a section of the rock that comes up. And all around it are embers, just barely burning. Ruby.
As the battle dies down, as Asmodeus and Tevlaniel and Ardenea go to their tasks, anybody watching me would see that the light has gone from my eyes. I am somber, probably for the first time that you've ever known me. I slowly walk towards where Sarenrae fell to see it for myself. My movements are methodical, mechanical almost, as if I'm not really there. And when I arrive, I fall to my knees. And that emptiness that I haven't felt in 20 plus years takes over. And I start to sob uncontrollably.
Something of a battle still rages on behind you, but it is over. Largely. Signy, I'm going to make an assumption and say that you still fight until everything stops moving. And your warriors follow suit. Every single human on the battlefield stares up at you in awe, O Siren. There's a push, a last wave, until death's reach is quiet. The silence is almost as bad as the screaming. Maybe it's worse. That's when you hear a distinct sound, a scream. It's Leonis Stormwild. He's calling for Amy, but she's gone. Taken during the battle. No body. Nothing. Time seems to stretch on here. No one really knows what to say or do. This seems very different from when Lakal was lost. Very different. What are each of you going to do?
I guess after that heavy stuff, I'm gonna have to ask Tiamat to land. Because I can't get off.
Yes, she lets you off, and each of her head gives you a bow.
I'll give her a nod and I'll say, well, I'm not a dragon, but I'm glad at least you and Bane lived. Sorry I couldn't save everyone.
All of her voices echo in your head. You hear, yes, but the best of us is gone.
I suppose that means all of us have to be the best of us now. It's what she would have wanted.
I suppose. You watch as she pushes off from the ground, wings beating, dust flying everywhere as she flies away. Her dragon's following.
I don't think I know where the rest of the party is.
Probably not, but you can try and
And
find them.
Okay, yeah, I don't really know where I am either, for that matter. I would assume this is a big city. So I will go searching for my companions. I'll burn every spell slot I have healing whoever I can along the way.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's primordial or if it's human or halfling or angel. For the primordials that I heal that are on death's door, I will tell them in primordial, the battle is over and follow me. This is not, there has been enough blood shed on both sides.
Signy, what do you do after the battlefield is still?
Is my son in this battle?
Yes.
Is he alive?
Would you like to go look for him?
Yeah.
You find Asara first. She's holding him, and at first you fear the worst. He is alive, very badly wounded.
As
Asara,
soon as
go
I
ahead.
see, I drop my sword, I drop my shield, and I rush over. Sir,
You can lay on hands.
I am gonna lay on hands. As many as I can. Which is 80, so.
You rush over and place your hands on his face as Asara holds him. You see him puts his hands over yours.
A lot of 80s.
You can just take it all off. Stop it.
Okay.
You pour your life energy into him, and you watch his wounds begin to close up. His shoulder relocates itself, or undislocates. And he takes a deep breath again, for the first time since he was badly wounded. Thank you, Mother. Asara has tears streaking down her face. This is the first time you've really seen her display this kind of emotion before. You see they both have wedding bands.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my hand on her cheek and in reassurance. And just hold them both if I can. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna look for anyone else. This is...
Okay. Aravad.
I will rise. Turn to those gathered. War always has a cost. Victory always has a cost. This was your victory today. The Black Star was one of the strongest of the primordials. His final doom will send shockwaves throughout their forces. This may be the end of the war. Thank you. Thank you for following. Thank you for believing. Thank you for your risk. And remember that this day was not won because the gods willed it. It was won because the mortals refused to break. Followers of me, you have a new directive. Find all the devoted of Sarenrae and do everything you can for them. Still in this form, like still as a siren, but I will go back down to person size. I will take flight over the battlefield on my purple robe spreading out as wings. And as I do, just energy, purple, red, blue, falls over things, and I just heal as I go. And I fly to Ruby. And I offer my arms.
It takes a little while for me to realize that you're there. But the minute I do, I leap into your arms, and my sobbing becomes louder and more violent.
My wings grow larger, sort of form. Do you know why she sent you?
I just shake my head because I can't answer out loud.
No one embodied her beliefs better. She was not the goddess of light. She was the goddess of hope. Your light was the purest form of hope in the darkness. She called you her saint. She said you. To protect me. I didn't lie when I said I died. None of what I've said has been a lie, actually. When I called into existence the power that would form Sarenrae, I was looking for a friend, honestly. The other gods all had pairs. I had nothing. I used everything I had just to bring something to life. It took form on its own. She was always her own. Over a millennia, we grew close. I have spent a great deal of time with her. And when gods operate as closely as we did for as long as we did, the essence is shared to some degree. You deserve this more than anyone. And between us, a small sun pendant that I've always had under my clothes will float up and it begins to glow. And I'm attempting to distill all of what I know of Sarenrae's power and give it to Ruby.
You are Osiren. It is easy enough.
I don't have her true power. But this world still needs hope and her light. Once the ban goes up, we won't be able to do much here anymore. This will restore your connection to that has been lost. I need you to not let the flame go out on this plane. She is gone. Hope is not. You don't actually need gods to have divine power. You just need to have belief.
As you will it.
Oh, this is your choice.
Would be my honor. She deserved better.
Far better.
A familiar energy begins to roll across the battlefield. Aravad, you recognize Osiren. You recognize the feeling of a primal spirit. The world healer. It's It's not just the world healer, but you sense another mysterious, formless spirit that you know to be the Great Watcher, the spirit who is said to see and hear everything. You also feel Grandmother Spider, the Fate Weaver, the one who controls destiny, who created the bindings between the planes. And finally, the All Spirit, the force that connects all living beings in the world to the spirits. And you hear voices in your head, gentle, calling to you. They say, "We know you are grieving, but now is the time to erect the primal ban, to create the divine gate that will seal away those who wish to temper immortality. We will meet you in 3 weeks' time, and you will all receive a vision of a place in the astral sea. A place of great beauty, indescribable, filled with light and darkness, stars, heavens, seas of purple and blue and gold and silver. And you know that this is your final destination in this war. Your final duty. Are there any last words before we end the session? Then that is where we will call it, my sweet friends.